So we were driving to Kisii, and we were actually coming from Migori, to Nairobi, and it was easier for us to come through Kisii. And so we took a drive to Kisii, but we were avoiding the highway because of traffic. And major constructions of road are continuing all over Kenya, and Kisii also hasn't been left behind. But it was really fascinating to pass through Kisii because Kisii is really beautiful. It is green, and you can see it from this video. There's a lot of nature to it. There are trees, plantations. It's quite a fertile land. And so we went through different routes to just maneuver traffic within the highway. And at first, it seemed like we were actually going back to Migori, but we were coming to Nairobi. And so, as you can see, we are in a route within Kisii town. So Kisii town itself, or rather you can even call it CBD, and it's still full of trees. So Kisii is a place that it is hilly, and most of the places in Kisii is fully occupied, and it is also centrally placed between Migori as well as Homa Bay, and it makes it a very easy route when you're going to either Migori or Homa Bay, and necessarily don't have to go through Kisumu, because sometimes Kisumu becomes a bit far and Kisii is nearer any area that you would want to go to. So as we were going through Kisii, I couldn't help but realize that there's a lot of red soil, and I don't know if that red soil is what makes it fertile. Maybe you can put your comment below here. So as you can see, we've just gotten into the CBD, or Central Business District area within Kisii, as we're trying to fumble our way around out into the highway so that we avoid a bit of traffic, because as Kenya is currently on curfew, and the operating times for cars are between 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. depending with where you are. But I think Kisii is in the red zone because the Nyanza block right now is in the red zone, and they have a curfew up to 7 p.m. And so we have to work within 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And so this is the time when most cars are out and probably causing a lot of traffic. So as you can see, I'd already mentioned how Kisii is very fertile and very beautiful, actually, scenic to say the least, as you go through and meander through Kisii. Very green, very beautiful, very nice to actually take videos and photos of it. It's such a beautiful place to actually be in, and the weather also is very favorable, because most of the time, for those who love cold, because most of the time Kisii is usually cold, has a lot of rainfall, and that's what makes it a place to actually do plantation agriculture in general. And sometimes it is a bit sunny, but most of the times in Kisii it actually rains more than it is sunny. And so as we went through, we realized that people have really constructed, looked at development, and you will find a lot of nice houses constructed within the hilly areas, even on the roadside, and a lot of business here. So to mention also is that Kisii people they're into business a lot, and you will see a lot of business, whether by the roadside, from small businesses, dukas, to large buildings labeled for businesses. And it's a busy town too, so it has really grown over a period of time. Though hilly, people would have assumed that Kisii will not be the perfect maybe town to be, but I think it's a very big town, and one day should be considered to be a city, yeah. So it has very nice roads also, benefited from the national construction of roads. And as you can see, we've been trailing a few cars here and there to just get our way around Kisii, and to avoid the highway. And as I'd mentioned, most cars now are leaving, including buses, and most of the buses, I believe, going to the Nyanza area also uses Kisii route, and it is easier to actually meander in between. So Here are houses. This is an estate that we passed, and you can see how peaceful it looks, how clean it is, how beautiful it is. People are minding their own businesses, and us, we just here trying to get a route to the main road so that we can avoid the busy construction of roads, which is currently causing a lot of traffic. And a lot of dust also, and I think there's been a cold going around, and no one wants the dust for cold. And so we are here. So this is the central, I think, district area, but also looks like an estate, which is very near the town area. We call it town area here, or the central business district. And as you can see, we are going through to try and get a route that will lead us to the main road, which is the Kisii Nairobi highway. And very beautiful structures there, very beautiful plantation trees. I think Wangari Maathai, who was our Nobel laureate, who really advocated for making our environment better, if she was here, she would really be proud of how far we have maintained our environment in terms of planting trees and not bringing them down so that we can put in so many structures. Because she said, how you treat your environment is how the environment will treat you back. And so you can see the businesses that I've been talking about on the road. There are many shops around this place. People are so much into business. And yeah, we also saw that litter everywhere, and the cows are feasting on the litter. I don't know, they say when the cow is let free to feast, when you taste its meat, then it's very sweet. And if you can notice, sorry, I have a cold, there's a lot of bumps here, so it tells you that it is either a residential area, again another litter where a cow is taking food. So you can tell it's a residential area a business district of some sort, and that's why we have a lot of bumps here and there. So look at that scenery just there. It's a very nice thick forest of trees, and it overlooks this area. It's actually more beautiful than it seems, because I was taking this video on my phone and it looks really nice. So we reached here and we were not sure which direction we wanted to take, so again we had to turn. And as I'm turning, take a look at how Kisii looks like. It's so beautiful. And so we headed straight towards now more of where is an estate where you can see many houses. The housing has really grown here in Kisii, because most of the people will expect to see houses that are in the village, houses that people have built to always visit whenever they're in the village. But as I already mentioned, this is a very grown town with so much businesses. It is very busy, and as you can see a lot of houses, apartments where people are living, and some of them might be hostels, because just in front there we were able to see Jomo Kenyatta University, I think a branch. And so usually what happens when a university is built somewhere, housing usually comes up, especially for students, but also people who just work around there. So you can find most of the people who live around this place are people who work within the CBD in Kisii, others who've gotten and transferred to Kisii and have had to relocate and stay in these houses. A majority of also who stay here are students who go to the universities that are around, such as Jomo Kenyatta, University of Nairobi, Kisii University, which is the biggest university there. So as you can see, there's a lot of building here. It's a really busy place, and that the hotels also, so people who also work near those hotels maybe stay in this area. And yeah, a lot happens. Right now it was about 9 a.m. in the morning, and that's why probably it's not so busy as it seems. And yeah, that's why it looks like this, but I'm sure during the day it's pretty, there's a lot that happens. So we were waiting for a car to take a turn so that we could also use the road, because the road is not that big. Yeah, and I think they're also working into extending the road. So there's a supermarket that I think serves the people who live here. So those are the houses that I was talking about, so many of them. And beneath the houses on the ground floor, you can actually see some businesses. So people operate business, and that's how nowadays people build these apartments or flats for that matter. On the ground floor, it's usually businesses that serve the people who live there. So it's easier. You don't have to go so far to look for shops, to look for maybe mini supermarkets. Whenever you need anything, you just go down floor and get into any shop you want. And sometimes you can even find a mini cafeteria that sells chips or french fries for the bachelors who do not like to cook. And as I'd mentioned, many students stay there, so you can imagine after a hectic day in class, you wouldn't want to cook, you'll just want to go down and grab something. So here it is, Kisii, very beautiful, such a lovely weather. It's sunny, it's green, it's just lovely to be out here. Yeah, it doesn't give you that feel of a village as such, but it gives you a vibe of a town that still has its nature intact. Look at that, look at that, look at those trees. It's so beautiful. And we went round because at some point we actually hit the end of road because there was a construction, but now we were able to actually come back around again and get into the main road. Yeah, so look at how beautiful Kisii is. Look at the road. Cleanliness is here, apart from the two roadside dirt that we saw, the ones that and as I mentioned, they're constructing their road. I hope you've seen that yellow trailer. And the dirt that was thrown on the roadside. So I think the city council needs to work closely with people, because as you can see, there's a lot of buildings coming up, businesses coming up, and of course that attracts a lot of people to stay around it. And if there is no plan of how that will be thrown, of how things are going to be maintained, then there's going to be a problem. So as we came in here, we had already reached that road, and we were sure that this would be the best shortcut ever. Unfortunately, we just realized that it was closed and it is under construction, as you can see. So that tall building is the Jomo Kenyatta University that I was talking about. I tried to take a shot, but I couldn't. So it's written the Kenyatta University. So it's actually the Kenyatta University and not Jomo Kenyatta University. So yeah, this is the place. This is the drive. It was a lovely day. We tried to catch the sun in the morning, its rays which was shining on us, and we hit a halt here. I'm telling you, the construction that is happening in Kenya, if you haven't visited, you will be shocked. There's a lot of changes, and so we had to go back. Imagine. Okay, though we went back but got another route, but we had to go back so that we could make it to the highway. We could just see the highway was there, but it was blocked because there's construction that is happening. And so now we have to go back. But who is complaining? Because we are seeing how beautiful Kisii is. The buildings, the trees. I like how they've maintained the trees even within the district areas. And I hope it's a policy where you don't have to cut a tree and replace it with a building, because those things don't make sense at all. And who gets irritated by those things? Please put your comment. Please place your concern on the comment, because I think it's important for us to maintain our environment, because it is our environment that serves us. And we as people have really destroyed the environment, and that is why we are having global warming and uncertainty when it comes to the weather patterns. Like right now in Nairobi, it's very cold, unlike this period, I think, which is usually rainy. But anyway, so we learn nevertheless. So branches of banks within Kisii, there's a lot to see in Kisii. Kisii has really developed. It's a place that if you want to move to, you can actually move to. So this is the central business district, where there's a lot of offices, and county offices are actually located in this road here, as well as Kisii University, which is one of the biggest public universities within the county. So need to say that people confuse Nyamira County for Kisii County. So these are two different counties, however, occupied by Kisiis. So this is the main Kisii County. And as you proceed to Nairobi, you will be able to pass by Nyamira County, so you will see the difference. So still see how beautiful it is, trees being maintained, nice roads, people adhering to the rules. And also there's a lot of motorcycles within the city, because it is a preferred means to meander around. It is you easily access places where you're going. They know how to maneuver through traffic. It's I can't say it's cheaper. There's the sign for Kisii University. I can't say it is cheaper, but it is faster when you want to go somewhere. So as we got to Kisii town, we decided to make a stop to this Total so that we could fuel as well as use other facilities.